We're going to get more into being prepared, but one of the best things you could do to start being prepared right now, and I'll do a whole another video specifically on this topic, and that's situational awareness. Situational awareness is basically knowing where you're at all times. All right, welcome to the School of Preparedness. And just want to do a quick little video talking about preparedness, about being prepared. And that's what this whole channel is about, is being prepared. And I'm not talking about being prepared for strictly for a nuclear, biological, chemical attack or the collapse of society. It's about being prepared in your daily life. When you go to work every day, or if you go to school, or when you go in the grocery store, going to the movies, going to the restaurant with your family. And forgive me, I just worked out. See the backyard with the chickens. I'll do some videos on that later. And you have to be prepared. And the way you get prepared is you train. If you're preparing yourself in case there's a power outage, right? Which we do experience, or maybe there's some kind of natural disaster and everything stops working and you run out of food and water and power, and you need food, you need water, right? And you need power. So how do you be prepared for all that? So we're going to get into that extensively. And I'm still learning like everybody else. I'm not going to claim to be a guru, but I do have an extensive background in security and stuff like that. So that's where I draw this from. But we're going to get more into being prepared. But one of the best things you could do to start being prepared right now, and I'll do a whole another video specifically on this topic, and that's situational awareness. Situational awareness is basically knowing where you're at all times. And that applies to everything. If you're at church, if you're at the grocery store, the mall, anywhere where you're at, you have to know where you're located. You have to know what's going on around you. You have to know how to get out of there. You got to know where to hide. All those things are extremely important, because if something ever happens, if there's a fire in the building, you got to know where to go. If you don't know where to go, what's going to happen is you're going to panic and you're going to freeze, or you're just going to run and follow everybody else. And God knows what will happen, because you don't want to follow the herd, because they're panicking and they're running for their lives and they have no idea where they're going. And when you're talking about an active shooter attack, please forgive my rooster. That's Papa Roo. I don't know if you can see him or not. Papa Roo's over there. There he is. I'll introduce you to him another time. But, if something happens, like there's an active shooter event and you're with your family, you're inside of a mall walking around and you need to get out of there and you don't know where you're going, last thing you want to do is follow everybody else. Especially if there's multiple shooters. You have a guy, you hear the gunfire and it's coming from that direction, but then there could be another guy's partner that's running around and hasn't started firing yet, that's waiting. So you have to know where you're going. Okay, the worst thing you want to do is trying to get out of some place and running with your family, and because you weren't thinking and you're panicking, you go the wrong way, you do the wrong thing. Okay, or worse yet, you freeze and you don't do anything. Okay, because that's the worst thing to do. So practice that situational awareness. If you work in a big office building, or you work downtown, or your school's a large campus, get to know that place, get to know everything about it. Take some time when you do your lunch break, maybe just walk around while you eat your sandwich, or if you don't eat, just walk around and check stuff out, get lost. Maybe one day a week, just stay to work later or stay at school later. Now obviously if you go to high school, or you're watching this, you can't really do that unless maybe you got an after school activity. But just start paying attention to where everything is. Just don't walk around blindly, because like I said, when it goes down, the last thing you want to do is freeze and panic. And that's exactly what's going to happen, especially when something life and death is crashing down upon you, and your decisions will determine if you live or die, or if you get hurt, or if you don't get hurt. Okay, And so it's a pretty simple thing to do. Just keep your eyes open, and forgive me for the shaky camera. Keep your eyes open and just pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you, especially if you go to a certain spot all the time, you know, whether it be out in the public or, you know, mall or anywhere. And there's normal street activity, you know, from maybe the people that are there all the time. And then when you show up one day and something's not right and people aren't around like they normally are, it's just the vibe is different, you know, that's a good clue. That's a good warning sign. That's because if you have that situational awareness, because you've been there before and you paid attention, you know what normally happens in that area. If it's not happening, then, you know, the little warning signs and the sirens and lights should be going off in your head like, hey, something's not right here. So anyway, once again, being prepared. It's all about training. It's about the best thing you could do starting off is practice a good situational awareness. And I'm going to get into that a lot because to me, that's the cornerstone and have a good personal safety and security. But this will be it for the video for today. And until the next one, you know, stay safe and watch your six. And remember, it's not being paranoid, it's being prepared.
Yeah, yeah! Yo!